Right. It's just Steph again, the ancient medic. If you watch the video about if you're going through a review for Social Security disability, here's what you might expect to go through. I'm not going to repeat. If you want to find out what a nightmare circus that was, go back and watch that video. I think it's about 20 minutes long. And I have to apologize anyone that did watch that at the very end. There's about 2 minutes. All of a sudden, all this stuff just popped up on my screen, and I was trying to exit out of everything because I couldn't get to the button to stop recording. It just never ends. But anyway, so so we were pretty much left hanging in limbo by the Pennsylvania uh, Disability Determination Bureau, whatever it's called, and so we were just like, well, I don't know what we do from this point. Just wait. So we got the magic letter from SSA, and apparently, even if you tick all the boxes uh, on Social Security's website, which is ssa.gov, I was reading through every single thing about congestive heart failure, and the primary thing being an EF of 30% or less. If you don't know what EF is, just look it up. It's just the basically it's a measurement of the pumping ability of the left ventricle in a nutshell. So he's at like 25, and that's with a pacemaker, which um, helps keep your rhythm stable, and but it also is helping bring that EF up. If it wasn't for the pacemaker, it would even be lower. So I mean, it's amazing this man's even still standing. But and what that does is it makes the heart really irritable, and it just makes you prone to sudden death, a sudden lethal arrhythmia, which would be like a VTAC, VFib, that kind of thing. And therefore, why they put the defibrillators right in the chest, because the sooner you get shocked, the better your chances. So if you're walking around with one in you and it just goes off automatically, you don't need a paramedic to, put the pads on and do. Anyway, so we were just kind of left in limbo by the not only the PA Disability Determination Bureau and SSA. So we were just like, well, wait and see what happens, because I don't know. I don't know what else to do at this point because everyone's ignoring us. No one's returning phone calls. Can't find anything out. So get a letter from Social Security, says as of February 5th, 2024, you are no longer disabled. And the reason given is um, recent testing shows satisfactory heart function, which is like I would I would think you'd want like good normal heart function, but hey, I was just a paramedic. What do I know? Um, so it's like satisfactory. What does that even mean? That's a really subjective. Maybe it's satisfactory to them. It's not for me, and it's certainly not for him because he's the one who walks around every day terrified he's just gonna poof, drop dead. But um, so even by Social Security's own guidelines, because I read through them very carefully, um, they're not even going by their own guidelines. Apparently, I frankly don't even know what they're going off of, except that I do know uh, they've probably been deluged with new disability claims because of a certain intervention that was offered. I mean, I know quite a bit of people myself who were affected, some of whom are no longer with us, unfortunately. But all that aside, I'm sure that they're probably trying to process, you know, hundreds of thousands or whatever new claims, and they're just trying to sort of, I don't know, like wipe the slate clean or get as many people off, and just hope that, well, if you don't have access to medical care and you don't have any income or whatever, go live in a box and die on the sidewalk, which is that's our government. I mean, sorry, sorry to say, they don't care about you. They don't care about me. They don't care about you. They care about themselves. That's it. Okay. Do not fool yourselves. But anyway, so we got the determination, and it was kind of weird because I guess PA office, the ones that actually make the determination for the Social Security Administration, made their decision around the end of March, but for whatever reason, they make it retroactive. So the decision per Social Security was actually made in February, on February 5th, which was the very same day we were sitting here, right where I'm recording, on a Zoom call with a woman who gave us no credentials, but it was for like a mental status exam or a mental health something. Which uh, it was kind of my misunderstanding at first, but I spoke to an attorney and he said, well, that, basically they should look at everything, which only makes sense. Plus, they'll look at the person's age, they look at their level of education, which, he's a high school graduate. He was a mechanic, so he went to Votech and learned, a trade. Um, and, age is a very big consideration. He's 59 years old. Um, and so, according to this attorney, they want to look at the whole picture, but it seems to me like they just want to, pick you off. But anyway, I'm not going to get into like a great deal of detail, but it did take me 6 days or 6 different phone calls to finally get through to a supervisor because the first time it was like the girl said, well, I can send, or no, first person I talked to said, well, I'm not allowed to give you her phone number. Okay. I mean, I'm pretty sure this is not her home, her personal phone number, but whatever. So I called back and this girl said, well, I can send her an email. And I guess she did, and I didn't hear anything. So I called back. Yeah, anyway, I called back, called back, called back. So the other day, it's like call number 6. And the guy that answered the phone, I told him briefly what had been going on. And I said, I'm trying to file a complaint against the woman that we were interacting with during this supposed review of his disability. And I said, I want to file a formal complaint. And I said, it's everyone's just like passing the buck, telling me this, I can't have her phone number. And, if no one, saying, well, we can have her call you. And I said, look, so I'm not hanging up this phone until I get an appointment that I can put on my calendar where she will call me and I will be sitting here by my phone because I said, I don't have time to just sit here and wait for people to call me. They're never going to call me. I said, I have things to do. And, I'm not sure what else I said, but he put me on hold. And the next thing, a guy picks up and says, this is Matt. Can I help you? And he didn't like say who he was or anything. So I'm thinking, oh, good. In fact, I think I went, oh my God, on the phone because it was just like, now who am I talking to? So I start with this whole thing again, like, I want to file a complaint, and blah, blah, blah. And he said, I am the supervisor of all the supervisors. And I said, oh, well, that'll work. So we had rather a lengthy conversation. And this just goes to show that, don't give up. I mean, just, bug these people to death because that's what you have to do. And, I think they just do it because they're hoping you'll go away. And I'm just, I mean, I was at the point where I was like, I just don't want to do this anymore, but I knew I had to keep calling. And I did. And it paid off. So I gave him the whole story. And, I mean, he didn't say, I mean, obviously he's not going to come out and say, oh my God, I can't believe that woman was, was so horrible in dealing with you. And, that they're not going to say that, but I could kind of tell by his voice inflection and just some of the things he was saying, that it was kind of like he was thinking like, holy crud, what, what was she doing or not doing really? But I mean, um, so he said he would look into that. And then he kind of surprised me because he said, do you also want to file a complaint against the, the the company that was supposed to do the mental um, status exam or whatever it was called? And I said, oh well, yeah, because I said we still want that done. I said after all, it was your office that was demanding we get it done, and we were here, and the lady came on the Zoom call and had no records, had no idea why she was doing this, and uh, So I said, well, yes, absolutely. And I said, we want um, that meeting repeated. I said, but I want it in person. And I said, this time I will bring them. I will make sure that we're there on time, and so on and so forth. So again, a kind of a lengthy phone call with him. And I also said, I have records here, recent records. In fact, summer just from a few days ago, he just had another medication added, um, and the doctor highlighted what she is placing his EF at, because if they get like a range. But when you're in medicine, you don't want to go with the highest and like say, oh well, we'll just hope for the best, and we'll say it's up here. You always want to err on the side of caution. At least that's the way I always was in the field. I mean, sometimes I kind of went overboard treating people just because I felt that way I wouldn't miss anything, or but it's you want to err on the side of caution. You don't want to go, oh, it's higher than that. Come on. I mean, this is why they do these tests so they can get a measurement. But so in the meantime, I called three attorneys. The one office actually talked to me, but he basically said, "There's nothing we can do. Go look for like an appeals attorney or deny." I don't even know what he said. So of course I'm looking online. I'm thinking I don't think there's anything like that, and there isn't, because all I could find were regular Social Security attorneys. One never returned the phone call. The other office took like a day or so, day or two to call back, but they were like, "Sorry, we can't help you." And these people never say anything like, "But, here's what you can do." So, and I always forget that like you can use YouTube as a search engine. So I thought, well, you know what? I'm just desperate. So I'll type in, you know, who can you talk to, or, what do you do if you've been on disability for a long time and, they just take you off. And a number of videos popped up, and I just happened to watch one. And I kind of like this gentleman, and his name's Jonathan Ginsburg. And it's just Social Security videos, or I'm not sure. There's a couple uh, channels that kind of have similar names, but if you look, is like an older gentleman, dark hair. I think he has a beard. I'm not really sure. I don't quite remember, but anyway, so hunt him down if you need an attorney. Now he did say there's nothing he can do at this point, but he said if the denial goes through again, in other words, and they just deny him and say nope, you have to go back to work, because even he sounded kind of incredulous, like really they're taking someone like with heart function that's that bad and saying you need to go back to work full time. Plus, he can't go back to what he was doing, because when you have an implanted cardioverter defibrillator in your chest, um, and I won't get into a big explanation, but there are things you need to stay away from, like a strong two-way radio. You're not even supposed to stand beside a coffee pot for too long, and it's all frequencies and magnetism and all that. Like you can't walk through like metal detectors, because that's just one huge magnet, and that can actually shut it off. But these different things screw it with the implant. So, in fact, I have a friend whose husband was in heart failure, and he made the mistake of running over a running car engine, and he got whacked by his defibrillator. And so it's definitely something that has to be considered. He cannot go back to his old job, and it's not really like if you're a mechanic, you're a mechanic. I can't really think of anything. Even if you're a manager in a shop, you're still out there on the floor working on cars. Um, but anyway, this attorney, he said, yeah, like I said, he sounded incredulous. Like even I can't believe took him off. And uh, but anyway, he said he was just giving me some advice. I'm like, yeah, I already did that. I already did that. I already did that. And he said, well, it sounds like you're doing everything you need to be doing. But he said he gave me a link to, or gave me a website. And I apologize. It's something to do with the grid rule, and I had never heard of this, but it's like looking at a person's age, education level, what you used to do as a job, and whether that's easily transferable, into some other type of employment, which in his case is not. But I couldn't believe he actually called me himself. I mean, I figured a secretary or something, and he was very, very nice, and he was very human. He just seemed really down to earth, and he's been doing this for like I think 25, 30 years, something like that, and he strictly does Social Security. Um, but he said if you get denied again, give him a call back, and he would represent us. And he says probably a good thing that you're not getting the income right now because these attorneys work on a contingency. So, like if they work for you and when you disability, they will take a portion of the back pay that you then get paid upon approval. So, I said, well, part of the reason is because we missed the deadline, but I got to thinking about it. I'm sorry, I don't just itchy. I feel like I have cat hair all over my face, but um, I probably do, or my own hair, or combination of my hair, dog hair, cat hair, who knows. Um, so now I got off track talking about hair sticking to my face. But anyway, yeah, he was a very, very nice man, and just hunt him down on YouTube if you have a need for a disability attorney, Social Security. And he said, if they turn you down again, just give me a call. I'll represent you guys. Um, and he had some information, like I said, that I'd never heard of. This grid rule, and he even said on his website that there's a lot of adjudicators, which are the ones that make the decisions, that don't even know this rule exists. And I was just like, it's our government at work. Like I said, the left hand doesn't know what the right hand's doing. But um, anyway, Friday, this was all Friday, and I just felt like the weight of the world was lifted off me. It was like I'd been banging my head against the wall like since January. And finally, it was like, oh, okay, I got through to a supervisor. I got everything off my mind there. He gave me his phone number. And I'm like thinking, well, if you can give me, like, if you're the supervisor of all the supervisors, why is it you can give me your number, but this other lady who's just like a regular supervisor, her phone number is like a big guarded secret. Oh, no, we can't give that out. That's her phone number. That's how you contact her, whatever. So hopefully he will look into things and figure out what the hell was going on with that three-ring circus. And we're supposed to hear back. I'm supposed to get some paperwork that tells us where to send these records that I have that are most recent. And so the moral of the story is you just, and this goes for anything in life. You have to keep persisting, as maddening as it gets. And believe me, I did my fair share of crying. I mean, I got depressed. I got upset. I got angry. And yeah, I swear I cry more when I get really, really stinking angry, more so than when I get sad. I just get so angry. Like I don't know what to do. I just start crying. But it's good to get that out. I mean, if you need to cry, cry. It gets it out of your system. But this is, I mean, this is just part of life. It's really kind of a part of life that we shouldn't have to be going through. Just common sense would tell you that, but we are, and um, just don't give up. Just keep bugging people. Don't be nasty about it. I just told them. I said, look, I will keep calling if I have to call every day because I want this complaint filed. And you all just keep passing the buck, or I get a different story depending on who I'm talking to. And I'm straight up telling you that I'm not going away. I am going to keep calling you until I speak to someone that I want to speak to, because I don't work for you. It's supposed to be the other way around. I know it's not. It's supposed to be. And, don't take their BS. I mean, just like I said, assertiveness, not aggressiveness. I'm just very assertive. Uh, so, um, So again, we're kind of waiting to find out who the new adjudicator will be. We're waiting on the paperwork, so I know where to send these records. And um, the guy kind of skirted around whether I would get any results of a complaint against this woman, or whatever. I probably won't ever hear anything about that. But I mean, he was even in question. He did say to me, "I'm going to have to track down the person who told you they couldn't give out her phone number because that like shouldn't be the case. I'm like, well, you're the one, you record the calls because you always get that this might be recorded for invasion of your privacy, but it's for training and whatever purposes, because they always want to say, well, for quality assurance, well, we want to make sure we're doing a really good job for you, so we're going to record all your phone calls. So I said, well, if you do record all the calls, just go back and you can hear all the interactions, and you'll hear that one very clearly telling me she was not allowed to give me the phone number to the supervisor. So whatever. But here comes my cat. Uh, so I think that was the main points, and I'll probably update again. I don't know how long this process is going to take. I mean, the original review went on, uh, the end of December, beginning of January. I think it was beginning of January. And we didn't hear until this month. Yeah, he got his check this month, and then we heard from Social Security um, that this month was his last check. And I thought, well, that's great because I never budgeted for that. I just did my normal budgeting, and but that's okay because we figured things out, and all's good for right now. And so I will put up another update when I have one, and I just hope that none of you have to go through all this crap. That's what it is. And if you do, just be persistent. Don't give up. And if you get really frustrated or angry, upset, just walk away. If you need to cry, cry. Just don't go pounding someone's face with your fists or something, or don't be bouncing heads off of walls or anything. Just go chill out, do something, get your mind off it, and get back on it the next day because that's what you have to do. And I'm not like I'm nobody special. I'm just. I mean, I do have a lot of fortitude, and when I get good and angry, then it's like, okay, now you've really pissed me off, so now I'm really not going away. But everybody has it, and sometimes you have to, but just keep at it. And if anyone's going through this process, if you got a comment, please leave it below. And do look for Jonathan Ginsburg. It's on YouTube. I'm sorry, I can't remember what his website is called, but probably if you Google his name, it probably would come up in some way, shape, or form. Um, and if you find his YouTube channel, look for the link. I think he has a couple there, but there's one that talks about this grid rule, and if it applies to you, read through it because that was very helpful to read because I'd never heard of it before. So okay, that's it. Thanks for watching and going along with this wonderful journey we've been on, and hope y'all have a good one. And I'll see you next time. Thanks. Bye bye.